The morning sun had barely broken through the gray clouds when Margaret, a frail woman in a faded coat, placed a bouquet of wildflowers on a grave she couldn't afford to forget. Her fingers trembled as she whispered a prayer, unaware that someone was watching her. A man in an immaculate black suit, standing just a few steps away, frozen in disbelief. His lips parted as he read the name on the gravestone. It was his wife's name. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you were watching from. I love knowing who's listening. For months, Ethan Blake, the CEO of a global real estate empire, had visited that same grave every Sunday. His wife, Elena, had died in a car crash a year earlier. Her loss had shattered him, leaving behind a mansion that felt emptier than silence itself. But this morning, someone else was there. A stranger, poor and fragile, kneeling where he had stood so many times. He stepped closer, confusion tightening his chest. "Excuse me," he said softly. "Why are you leaving flowers here?" The woman turned, startled. Her eyes were tired but kind. "I come every week," she said quietly, "to thank her." Ethan frowned. "Thank her? You knew my wife?" The woman nodded, brushing the dirt from her skirt. "Yes, sir. I was just... nobody, really. I clean houses. But last winter I was working at a small cafe. Your wife came in one evening. She looked exhausted, but she smiled at everyone, even me. I spilled tea on her expensive coat, and I thought I'd be fired. But instead, she laughed. She gave me extra money and said, 'Buy yourself a warm coat, dear. No one deserves to be cold.'" Ethan's throat tightened. That sounded like her. Elena, who never saw wealth as a measure of worth, who gave away kindness like it was currency. Margaret continued, her voice trembling. "A few weeks later, she came again. I told her my daughter was in the hospital, sick with pneumonia. I didn't ask for help, but she pressed an envelope into my hand and said, 'For your little girl. Tell her someone's praying for her.' When I heard on the news that she died in an accident, I came here. I didn't know what else to do. I just wanted to keep her kindness alive." Tears welled in Ethan's eyes. He remembered that night, the dinner she'd missed, the call that never came. He'd been angry back then, thinking she was too soft, too trusting. He never knew where she'd gone or why she'd been late. Now he did. Margaret looked down, ashamed. "I know this isn't my place, sir. I'll leave if you want. I just thought—" She deserved flowers. Ethan shook his head slowly. "No, she deserves this, and more." The cemetery was quiet except for the wind sighing through the trees. For the first time in months, Ethan didn't feel alone. He saw in this stranger, sighs the living proof of his wife, as compassion, the legacy she'd left behind without him even knowing. "Tell me," he said gently, "how's your daughter now?" Margaret smiled faintly. "She recovered. She's studying now, wants to be a nurse. She says she'll help people like the woman who helped her." Ethan turned away for a moment, hiding the emotion that flooded his face. When he looked back, his voice was steadier. "Would you let me help her?" Margaret blinked in confusion. "Help her? How?" "Your daughter, her education, her future. My wife believed in people. I think she'd want me to do the same." Margaret's hands flew to her mouth. "Oh, sir, I can't accept that. You've done enough." He smiled softly. "You haven't accepted anything yet." He pulled a card from his pocket and pressed it into her hand. "Come to my office tomorrow. Tell them I sent you. We'll make sure your daughter never has to struggle again." The poor woman's eyes filled with tears as she whispered, "Thank you. She'd be proud of you, you know." Those words hit Ethan harder than he expected. Proud. He had spent a year drowning in regret, for every moment he hadn't told Elena how much she meant, for every day he let grief turn into silence. But here, beside her grave, he realized she was still changing lives, even his. As Margaret walked away, Ethan stayed behind. He knelt before the headstone, running his hand across the carved letters of her name. "You never stopped giving," he whispered, "even after you were gone." A ray of sunlight broke through the clouds, warming the cold stone, and in that moment he felt her presence, not in the grave, but in the living. Later that week, Margaret's daughter received a scholarship in Elena's name. The foundation Ethan created would go on to help countless others, all because of a chance encounter at a grave, and the memory of a woman who refused to let compassion die. Because kindness doesn't vanish. It waits, and it finds its way back. And sometimes it returns as a stranger kneeling beside the same grave, reminding us that love never really leaves, it just changes hands. If this story touched your heart, please like the video, subscribe to Whispered Words, and share your thoughts in the comments. Tell us, do you believe kindness lives on through the people we help?